What's going on, guys? Chuck here. Just recently, we lost actor Robert Carradine to apparently a very young generation. He was known as the dad on Lizzie McGuire, I guess. But to my generation, he always remembered as one of the two leads in the '84 film Revenge of the Nerds, a film that unfortunately is not looked upon as well as it once was. Um, but whatever, it's still a funny movie. I don't care who it says, different times, whatever. Um, but the point of this is that just I don't want this coincidence really, because this happened before his passing. But Synapse happened to release Tag, the Assassination game. This was a film from 1982, kind of a action, well, comedy about a college campus within this is a game called Tag. It's an assassination. You're going to go around, you're killing everybody with dart guns, and just shooting at them. And I don't think it really was. It's more of a cult favorite. It's a film I'd heard of, but I was going to confuse something I'll talk about here in a minute. Said a whole lot about Tag. Just the title, and I can't remember if I'd seen it before getting this Blu-ray. Because this was very hard to find. I don't think it's ever. I don't know if it's gotten a DVD release. Honestly, it may have, but I don't think it did. It may have said VHS. But this was like remastered from Surviving Elements, from what it says here. 35 millimeter archival vault materials is what this was sourced from. But this is a interesting little film, directed by Nick Castle. I believe it's his first film. Of course, many will know Nick Castle as the original Shape in John Carpenter's 78 Halloween, who would go on to direct many films, but he directed this one. This, of course, along with Robert Carradine, also stars a very young Linda Hamilton. Obviously, pre-Terminator is like one of her first major roles. It also has, I think, the first film appearance of Bruce Abbott, best known for the Reanimator films. On top of that, you have Kristen DeBell in here, who many will know from several different films. And some of you will know her from that Alice in Wonderland film. If you know, you know. But also, I think it was interesting in some bit roles. You have Michael Winslow, who people will know from Police Academy. He's best known for making all these sound effects. The sound effects guy from Police Academy. I think this is, and he's doing his shtick in this movie. That's really what's gotten his career, is just doing the sound effects. I think he was a stand-up comic doing that, but he's one of the contestants in the game. But he also, what's interesting, he has this little mini entourage. It's like a one spokes guy and one bodyguard. And the spokes guy is played by an actor named Jack Baker, who is credited as John Anthony Bailey, I believe it is. And many of you don't know who Jack Baker is, or maybe some of you do. Jack Baker, and I've talked about him before. He's a character actor that pops up occasionally in a lot of mainstream films. He had a kids' TV series. I can't remember what it's called. It had to do with a live action dune buggy. It came to life, kind of like a speed buggy thing. I can't remember what that was called, but it was killing me. But he was in that. He is a bit part in Kentucky Fried Movie and other things. But he's also known for doing a lot of adult films in the 70s and early 80s. So he was one of these many actors talked about plenty of times in other videos who are doing that crossover thing. But he's got a bit part here. But on the other side of him, the bodyguard playing for Michael Winslow's bodyguard is a very young Forrest Whitaker. And I believe might have been his very, very first role. It's not speaking, he's just there. But you recognize a very young kid, Forrest Whitaker. This is just a few years before Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Actually, no. Think about it. This is the same year as Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I think it might have came out right after this. But it's just interesting to see that. So what is a Tag the Assassination game? Like I said, it's a college campus where people run around, taking each other out with dart guns. It's a part of the game, all to get down to the final one. Bruce Abbott's character is basically won Tag 5 years in a row. He's determined he's got to win this game. Linda Hamilton's like the upcoming when she's good. She's going to get him. And of course, there's everybody else. And throughout this, Robert Carradine plays like a campus reporter who is fascinated with the whole culture of this game and decides he's going to do a story and he's going to follow Linda Hamilton around, her character. And of course, they get acquainted, fall in love. But on top of all that, the Bruce Abbott character, he's obsessed. I mean, there's this guy who's like running the whole game. He's slick back, he's fast talking, he's just promoting the heck out of it. But Bruce Abbott, he's like, you got to be more of a, if you're gonna, you're a 5-time tag champion, you've got to really look the part, dress up, class yourself, because Bruce Abbott character is just slovenly and messy, but he's obsessed. It's all he can do is he has to win this game. Until at one point he is accidentally eliminated, and I say accidentally because the guy just falls into accidentally shooting Bruce Abbott's character and taking him out of the game, which at that point flips Bruce Abbott's, and I can't remember the character's name, so I'm referring to him as the actor. It flips him out, and at that point he's obsessed. He's got to start taking everybody out for real, and the game becomes real at that point. And then that's essence tag the assassination game. What I find interesting is, like I said, it's kind of it's a comedy, or dark comedy maybe is the best way to put it, because there's a lot of it's played mostly straight with some comedic bits through here. Nothing over the top, but just just to lighten the mood. But it gets it's got its serious moments, but it's not taking itself seriously, if that makes sense. The opening credits, you start off with a cold open, which gets into a fancy main title sequence straight out of a James Bond film. Even the song there's playing is, sounds like it'd be upbeat, maybe 60s, 70s, early 80s Bond film. And they've had the women, the silhouette, they're clearly spoofing Bond, which is fun. I like that. And it's playing serious, but not taking itself too serious. And it's a fun little movie. Like I said, I don't think it's a cult. It's been known too much, because I heard about it, but I don't think I ever saw it until now. What's also great is it's got a fantastic trailer. It's a trailer. If you've seen a Kentucky Fried Movie, most of those fake trailers, and they had that one voice, that really deep talk, voice like this, and that's the trailer for Tag, and it's almost like campy, over the top, and I can't explain it. Look at the trailer up on YouTube. I'm sure you can find it. It's great. This is a fun release that I'm glad Cinep's dug out. There's not too much on here, special feature wise. You just have an audio commentary with Nick Castle and Robert Carradine, obviously prior to his passing, which is moderated by Horror's Hollow Ground's Sean Clark. So that's pretty good. And then the digital theatrical trailer, and you have line notes by Dustin Morrow, and then you have, I think, a little mini poster. But here's the slip. And inside is the alternate artwork. You see the Linda Hamilton and Robert Carradine, again, kind of a James Bond pose here. And there's I can't spin it. Oh well, that's a butt getting a dart. There you go. And then you've got just a little booklet, liner notes. There's that image again. Real thin. I haven't gone through this yet. But again, it's a fun little movie. I'm glad, they kind of just put this out here. But it was one I always got confused with, and this is interesting, with another film that I saw years ago on cable, Gotcha. Now, what I find interesting about this too, because this is from 1985, and it stars Anthony Edwards. So you have Robert Carradine in a game, or in a movie about a college game of where they're playing Assassination, and you have Anthony Edwards in a film about I'm assuming college paintball game as the exact same thing. And these are both the two guys from Revenge of the Nerds. I thought that was kind of, no one talks about this. I looked online how I see anybody mention this or talked about this. I think it's kind of cool that Robert Carradine and Anthony Edwards both did films with somewhat similar premises. Now, they're totally different in tone. because Gotcha has a little more seriousness to it, as it involves spy. Yeah, Anthony Edwards basically, dorky kid on campus goes on vacation with his friend Nick Corey. Nick Corey, you'll know from Nightmare on Elm Street as Rod, and he runs into this. I believe she was. I want to say Czechoslovakian. I could be wrong with that, or maybe Ukraine. I don't know, but she was foreign, and it's Linda Fiorentina, which a very young Linda Fiorentina, because this is 1985. And he ends up, falling for her, and he gets mixed up in this whole spy thing with a MacGuffin at some kind of film of, that gets laid on him. He's going over to East Berlin and trying to, being chased by Russians, and until he gets back, home. It's again, there's some comedy and lightness, but it's a lot more serious tone than Tag. But it's still an interesting little watch. It's a fun film. It's a nice performance by Anthony Edwards. And this doesn't have the amount of, I guess, future star power that Tag would have. Well, you have Anthony Edwards and Linda Fiorentino. You also have, along with Nick Corey, the only recognizable person probably see on here is Alex Rocco. You may not know the name, but you'll recognize him as one of the, a very popular character actor you'd see throughout the 80s. Also known for being in The Godfather. He played Joe's dad on Facts of Life. So yeah, but yeah, after I got this, I made a thing about Gotcha, so I went and picked it up, and then I don't know if this is still in print, because this is actually from Kino Lorber, and I got this on Amazon. It's only like $10. It's really cheap, and it has an audio commentary by director Jeff Canoe, which is interesting also because Jeff Canoe was the director of Revenge of the Nerds, which came out a year before this. And you got Anthony Edwards in here. Now, apparently, what I saw on Internet Movie Database, is that Robert Carradine has a cameo like 40 some seconds in the film, and if you blink and you'll miss it, and he just walks out, apparently just passing by the camera, which would be interesting. Again, the director, the 2 stars from the film. I'll have to go back and check that out. I did not see that. I just found that out a few minutes ago. But yeah, this was a movie I saw late night on cable, and I never saw it again until just the other night after I got this. But it was always there. When I hear Tag, I think of Gotcha. And at the time, I didn't realize that the actors who were in this until just recently, I didn't know much about Tag. I knew about Gotcha because I'd seen Gotcha. But I just found, again, to me, that's just really pretty interesting that these two were in movies with somewhat similar premises, even though it was like, 3-4 years apart. So yeah, that's just a little thing I wanted to share. I thought it was kind of funny. And again, this was just released from Synapse. I think this slip cover is a limited edition. And this is region-free Blu-ray. Looks good. Like I said, it does mention it's restored in 2K for the original 35mm archival vault materials. And it's, for the most part, pretty good. I think some scenes are a little maybe fuzzier than others, but it's not too bad. And again, for a film that pretty much was lost, I think, on VHS. I'm not sure if it had a DVD release or not. Honestly, this is pretty good. It's a nice little release to have. Gotcha looked good. I had not listened to the commentary on here. There's also a second commentary from entertainment journalist and author Brian Reisman, but fairly simple. Again, this is from Kino Lorber. This may or may not be in print. If not, well, it probably, because they're so cheap on Amazon, I'm sure it's probably still in print from Kino. But yeah, these actually made for a good double feature. Like I said, I just want to point this out because I thought it was very fascinating that these two did these. And that's it for this one. So if you enjoyed this, click thumbs up, share, subscribe, leave me a comment below. Let me know if you've seen Gotcha or Tag the Assassination Game, what your thoughts on them are, or just say hi. I'll always take highs. Until next time, this is Chuck saying I will see you on the other side.